guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Montu Motors in sunny Clearwater, Florida. And guess what? We have a special JDM car. This is an all-original 1990 Nissan Skyline GTR, the classic R32. But guess what? What makes this super special is this is one of just 560 GTR NISMOs that were produced. Real deal thing. Totally original, but before we dive into it, let's talk about what's going on here. It all started in 1970, if you could believe that. That's the original creation of a GTR. And if you're wondering, well, how does it start? Starts off life as a normal Skyline, and then Nissan would put a lot of muscle into it to really make it a performer. Now, in 1989, that was a big year because for a large gap of time, there was no GTR to be found. But in 1989, it came back on the R32 platform, and then this 1990 was produced for homologation reasons. For the Group A touring class racing competition, you had to build a certain amount of them. So that's where we get that 500 plus the 60. The 60 were turned into full-out race cars. 500 of them wound up in very, very lucky owners' hands. And what you're getting is that straight six twin turbo power, all-wheel drive, and also four-wheel steering. Yes, all the way back in 1990. It's got a 5-speed manual transmission, but really what makes this car so special is that being a NISMO, you're gonna get some special touches that you're not gonna find on other R32s. Plus, this is really where we see the formation of the name Godzilla, the nickname which the Australians actually gave to the car when it was racing in their Australian touring car classes and just whooping up the competition. So let's go ahead. I want to dive into this 1990 cream puff of a GTR NISMO, and I want to find out, should Nissan, for the next generation of the GTR, should they go back to this retro styling and really bring some of that old school feel back to the GTR platform? Let's go ahead and find out. Right off the bat, I love this color. If I was gonna get an R32, this is exactly the color. This metallic gray just fits it to a T, shows the lines of the body. We start up at the front of the business. You'll notice on a GTR, you're gonna get different sheet metal. So you're gonna get nice flared out fenders, especially as we get to the rear. You'll see that classic 1990 styling. Everything kind of got a little round at the front and at the tail end of the business. The good news is it's not too round like a Jelly Belly jelly bean, but this Godzilla definitely is bringing the heat. As we look on this lower corner, you're gonna get functional air intakes. On the GTR, you of course get a unique front fascia, this lower front air dam with functionality there. And then because this is a NISMO, there's some special touches. Right off the bat, you actually have a hood spoiler. Yes, that's what they called that. This extra piece of material would give you more downforce compared to a hood that did not have that strip. You're gonna get your horizontal slot grille that's fully functional, and then the other piece of the NISMO pie, which boy oh boy do I love pie, but the other piece of the pie here is you're gonna get these two extra air intakes. That is something that there's a lot of people that change the bumpers on their GTRs to make them look like a NISMO edition. This is the real deal thing. Look at that massive intercooler. Everything is just wide opening like a big, huge mouth. So all that air could be force fed into that massive intercooler because remember, like I said, twin turbocharged power. Now, when we get up onto the hood, you just have a simple body line, just so subtle. It's almost like there's no body line whatsoever, almost like a flat hood, but it's just enough to give it that character that you come to expect from the R32. We come around the bend, we look at wheel and tire setup. So you'll notice on this NISMO edition of the GTR, we have those original 5-spoke wheels. And I know today when we look at wheels, we see 20-inch wheel, we see 21-inch wheel. This is a 16-inch wheel, if you could believe that. But it got the business done back then. 225 on the width, meaty 50 series sidewall. We have them wrapped in these Bridgestone Potenza RE11 tires. You're gonna have your Nissan brake package there, 4-piston caliper up front, cross-drilled and fully ventilated rotors. And like I said, the originality for this car really speaks for itself. It's nice to see one that hasn't been all chopped up. Loving that fender, especially the beautiful body line that comes off the top and flows right towards the door. You got your GT badge, and then on the Nismo editions, you have a longer side sill. So that side sill actually drops down further than your standard GTR. Remember, we have that all-wheel drive capability. You're gonna have color matched on the mirror caps, no sunroof or anything like that. Classic overall silhouette. I really feel like it would be interesting to see a 21st century version of this particular design. Love all the style on the side. We come towards the rear of the vehicle, the way that that rear pillar comes down into the fender, and you're gonna have that stepped out fender, because remember, on a true GTR, we have wider tires out back than your standard Skyline, so we have to flare out that fender, and I'm actually gonna have Lori kind of showcase how you can see from behind the passenger door there, how the fender just flares out so nicely. And then because this is a Nismo edition, we have the larger rear trunklet spoiler, so that's gonna be for functionality. You have another additional kick-up spoiler underneath that, so you actually have two different rear wings. Look at this Nismo badge, Nissan Motorsports International. And if you've ever wondered, Nismo, what does it stand for? It's taking the word Nissan and the word motorsports and putting it together, Nismo. Still, to this day, it exists, and they're still doing racing. Unfortunately, not like back in the 1990s, but it would be cool to have a renaissance of that whole tradition. Loving the GTR badge, the real deal thing, R32 with the quad round tail lights. It even has the original Nissan badge still on it. So many people pluck these off and throw them away to clear up the rear end of the car. You have your Skyline stamped in the center, and then you'll notice you have your single exhaust outlet. Nothing crazy. Nobody put a big, huge coffee can on the back or anything like that. Real clean, real straight. Let's pop the hood and see what's powering our R32. All right, guys, we have the hood open to Godzilla. There is a prop rod, but I'm not gonna zonk that. This is a 1990 homologation special. Underneath that hood is the heart, but before we get to the heart, I wanna show you something at the back of the firewall here. You'll see that BN R32 number. That tells you that this is a real deal Nismo GTR and not something that somebody has just stuck the bodywork on. If you'll also notice that massive strut tower brace, but underneath the hood, what is the heart you're looking at? It is that all original RB26. Iconic engine for an iconic car. You're looking at a 2.6 liter inline six, so that's a straight six twin turbo engine, 276 horsepower, 260 foot-pounds of torque. And you know what? If you're wondering, well, Joe, why is it just 276 horsepower? It's all because the Japanese auto manufacturers had that gentleman's agreement to keep it at 276 horsepower. It's mated to a 5-speed manual transmission with the all-wheel drive and the 4-wheel steering. You're looking at 0 to 60 in 5.4 seconds. The car weighs almost 3,000 pounds even, and it has a top speed of 156 miles an hour. Really great to see the originality. It even has the original radiator fan shroud. So many people take this off when they're modifying the engines. You actually get better cooling by leaving this on. Even if you went with some type of aftermarket fan, a larger fan, it's better to have the stock fan set up to cool that RB26. But I don't know about you. Not many vehicles, twin turbo, straight six still around. Let's fire up this R32 Nismo and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this all original 1990 Nissan R32 GTR Nismo. Made for homologation, very special car for a very special reason. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've always wanted one of these. I've been a big fan. I've watched Fast and the Furious 8,642 times and a half, because there was a time that you went and you watched it and then you had to go to work, so you had to stop it early. How much is this particular one? Because I want a cream puff. I don't want one that's been all chopped up and whatnot. How much is this one? Montu Motors is asking $52,500. It has 41,000 original miles. Good luck finding one like that. Let's see what you get for the money. To the 1990 door panel. Keep everything apples to apples. That's the style in 1990. super clean, no cracks, no rips, no tears. It's got the microfiber Alcantara style material, that microfiber suede material. Still looking good, still looking fresh. 2 door pockets, which maybe you could put 2 tacos from Taco Bell in there each pocket. That's about it, but I would not eat inside Godzilla. Godzilla does not like that. Look at how much room, as we go to the dash, look how much room we have here. No airbag for the passenger. This is 1990. No cracks in that dash. You can see your AC vents, how they are organized. And then this is very special because many a time this has been all taken out. So you have the original gauges. I love the AC controls. Look at how there's no scratches or anything. You even have your cigarette lighter. And then when it comes to that transmission, you have that bulletproof, just like the engine is bulletproof, that bulletproof 5-speed. It's got the original Nismo Nissan Motorsports shift knob on there, 5-speed manual transmission. You got a little bit of a Japanese Twinkie holder right here, which is great. And then you open up this armrest, which is just rubber, but you open this up and you can put another 4 Twinkies inside of there. Good old-fashioned e-brake. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm feeling great. Look at the seats though. Original interior. The bolstering is crazy in here. These are like almost race seats bolstering. Nothing much to look at, but the great news is they're original and they're gonna hold you into place. But why don't you come over to the business end? Normally we do things the opposite way, but come over to the business end. I want to show you behind this original GTR steering wheel. All right guys, business time in this very special GTR. Originality is gonna continue on the driver's side. Check out the pedals. Original GTR pedals, the 3 pedals with your dead pedal on the far left. It's a little tight on space, but the great news is watch this. Heel toe downshifting all day long. I love that. I would love to take this out onto a racetrack. Not only are the pedals original, but look at the steering wheel. The GTR horn button right in the center. No airbag. They didn't have that back in 1990 on this particular car. And all you have is just steering wheel. No infotainment, no Bluetooth, none of that garbage, just the steering wheel. That's all you need for that great connectivity. And then the gauges. Once again, Nismo original gauges. You have that tachometer that goes all the way up to 7,500 RPM. Everything else looking super clean, super slick. And then seating position, like I said, it's just spot on the money. Rowing through this 5-speed feels really, really good. Let's go ahead. I am jonesing like a crack addict to take this on an on-throttle drive, but let's show off the trunk and then we're hitting the streets. All right guys, time to get into that trunk, but before we do, I want to show you the key to the GTR. Really just classy, nice to have that originality there. And how do we get into our trunk? Let me show you the good old-fashioned way. You actually use the key. Lift it up. What makes this GTR so great is that even though you have tons of performance, you even have that everyday usability. So really, really nice to see how clean, how straight this 1990 R32 is. But you know what? If you're ready, I'm definitely ready. We have the keys to Godzilla. Let's go ahead and do some on-throttle action. All right, guys, we left Montu Motors. We're in this 1990 Nissan R32. It is incredible how solid this car feels. Minimal shakes and rattles, if any, and that's incredible when you think about the age of this vehicle. The great news, like I said, very, very low mileage. Sitting on the right-hand side of a vehicle here in the United States driving is definitely something that feels different for sure. All right, guys, pulling out here. Transmission feels so good. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Woo! Feels phenomenal. The way the turbos, the twin turbos setup builds boost and just get you going, you're not really waiting for the boost to kick in, so there's very minimal lag. I love the direct connected feeling from the old school hydraulic steering, and we're gonna see how this all-wheel drive really handles. It's interesting though, the footbox is a little tight, but once you get used to it, you just feel right at home. The seats hold you just like a mother holds her newborn baby, and just an awesome, awesome experience. Like I said, if you have not been behind the wheel of one of these JDM Legends, you really owe it to yourself.
And the crazy thing is, if you think the steering or the shifting with your left hand would be the hardest thing to overcome, it's actually where the turn signals are. It's flip-flop from where it normally is on a US domestic product for the United States market, whether it be Nissan, Toyota, Honda, Chevrolet, Ford, whatever. But this gearbox is like a hot knife through butter. Make sure you use your mirrors, because like I said, it's a little different, that's for sure. But here we go, on throttle, yeah! Downshift in a second. Look at this, wow. Great feeling, great feedback, great connectivity. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! Wow, 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 wow. If only new cars felt this good, cars that are being built now felt this good so many years down the road. It just shows the engineering and the workmanship and the craftsmanship that went into these vehicles, because they drive so wonderful. No weird noises, brakes feel great. Heel toe downshifting is a pleasure. Look at this. Here we go, second gear. I can't believe this. This is amazing. Wow. On throttle, coming out of the turn. Yeah! Wow. You know, have I been in faster cars? Yeah. But there's just something so unique about this experience every time I get into one of these R32s. And that's why it would be so awesome if Nissan could take this recipe and just put a 21st century flair on it, because I feel like the R35s just don't do that. They're fast, they're amazing, but there's just something lost in translation that this vehicle has, and those do not. Look at this, on the brakes, heel toe downshift, brakes feel good. There we go, nice and clean. Trail out, apex down. On throttle, yeah! Wow. Unbelievable. I'm just so glad to be able to share this amazing drive with you. It's that unique of a vehicle, that amazing of a vehicle. Steering, like I said, is so direct, especially with the four-wheel steering. And it's crazy to think that in 1990, this is what the Japanese manufacturers were bringing to market. Absolutely ridiculous. God, I love this car. I would love to add one of these to the Radies Rides garage, that's for sure. Here we go, once again, clear road, I'm loving it. We're not going back to Montu. On throttle, here we go. All right, guys, here we go, third gear, on throttle. On the brakes, heel toe downshift, second gear. Nice. Woohoo! Look at this. On throttle. Yeah! Alright guys, I gotta get this car back to Montu, but it's crazy. All the temps have been kept in check this whole drive. It just goes to show the quality of vehicle that Montu brings to market and what Nissan was doing at this time in 1990 in such a special car, a real deal GTR NISMO. But we're gonna go ahead, get back to Montu Motors and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right guys, it's been one heck of a day with this all original GTR NISMO from 1990. I don't know, I really feel like something has been lost in translation with the new, currently available Nissan GTR. It would be nice if Nissan's doing all this renaissance, restyling and rebirth, would be nice to go back to something maybe a little bit smaller and something that looks like this, because even though it's from 1990, it looks so powerful, so purposeful. But I definitely gotta thank Jack, Sam, the whole crew at Montu Motors for getting us access to this
original GTR NISMO. If you want to keep seeing JDM legends here on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. You got to give it up to the queen of the camera. She tamed Godzilla with her camera skills. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.